It is positively frigid outside. Like, I legit almost froze walking down to the studio for this show. I don't know how our Explorer athletes can practice and play in temperatures like these, which is why I'm just going to sit at my cozy little desk and talk about our sports instead. Hello, I'm Siobhan Nolan.
And I'm Libby Gilliland. It sure was a shock to the system coming from Florida back to Philly, but I miss Siobhan and the SportsLine crew way too much to stay away any longer. So I'm back. You're welcome. You're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. Another week has gone by, and that means we have more recaps of all of our Explorer sports coming up soon.
And later, we're joined by Garrett Burke from men's swimming and diving to discuss this team season so far.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Number 1, women's rowing coach Kelsey announced 4 new signings to the program this week. Jenna DiRenzo from Great Falls, Virginia, Alexa Kennedy from Landslide, PA, Megan Lister from Roswell, Georgia, and Colby Obermeyer from Northfield, New Jersey will all be joining the team next fall.
Number 2, Christine Mancini was awarded NovaCare Student Athlete of the Week this week after earning a bronze medal in the 800 meter at the Columbia Challenge. Her time of 2 minutes and 9.41 seconds leads the A10.
Number 3, men's soccer head coach Taylor Thames announced 2 additions to the team's roster this semester. Goalkeeper Randy Burkhart, a Pennsylvania native, joins LaSalle from Coastal Carolina University, and forward Antoni G. Will join, a native from Florida, will join from Florida International University.
If you want to know how to pronounce his last name, you can just go to Barstool Salle. That'll do it. I felt so bad writing that into the script. I'm like, I'm sorry, Libby. I did my best.
I didn't want to butcher it. I wanted to respect him.
You know, we do our best here. But Christine Mancini leading the A10 with her 800 meter time. I mean, Mancini sisters, what else do we expect? But this was actually Christine's first medal of the indoor track season, so it's great that her name is on the leaderboard now, and track has just been on a crazy run with all of their events, so it's really great to see that Christine's up there and that they're getting that individual recognition and that they're just continuing to have strong performances.
Yeah, we always see their names up there, and they continue to run their hearts out and get awarded for it. So cool to see Christine getting that NovaCare Student Athlete of the Week this week with a pretty tough slate on the nomination. So congrats to Christine.
Yes, and women's rowing has more new signings as well with easier names to pronounce. So it's just great to see that LaSalle is getting so many recruits in and that we're just really bringing in a lot of new talent.
Yeah, this rowing team's pretty strong. So 4 ladies in a recruiting class is really good, really strong, and for men's soccer to get 2 new guys coming in is really exciting. So hopefully they can have a little bit better season coming up in the fall.
Yeah, definitely love to see it. And that's it for the top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recaps. Track and field just keeps getting better. Their most recent event, the Columbia Challenge, was another incredible display of their skill. For the women, Nevia Davis earned a bronze medal in the 60-meter dash, recording a personal best time of 7.82 seconds. Christine Mancini got her first medal of the season in the 8K with a time of 2 minutes and 9.41 seconds, which currently leads the A10. Then, the 4x400 relay team of Maya Primus, Jaya Marshall, Lanice Green, and Nevia Davis snagged a season best time of 4 minutes and 2.18 seconds. On the men's side, Liam Rivard earned a silver medal in the 800 meter with a season best time of 1 minute and 50.79 seconds, which ranks second in the Atlantic 10 and third all-time at LaSalle. David Butts and Finn Burney both finished in the top 10 of the mile event, taking 8th and 9th respectively, with Butts clocking in at 4 minutes and 10.41 seconds and Burney finishing at 4 minutes and 13.20 seconds. Ibrahim Kadir placed second in the 3K with a season best time of 8 minutes and 8.83 seconds. McCallum Rowe wasn't far behind, crossing the finish line at a career best time of 8 minutes and 12.65 seconds. To round out things for the Explorers, Tayonga Mbambo and Tekatel Tyson Tyson finished 9th and 10th in the 5K respectively, with Mbambo's time of 14 minutes and 22.60 seconds and Tyson's time of 14 minutes and 24.36 seconds.
Men's basketball traveled to Rhode Island on Saturday to take on the Rhode Island Rams in their second matchup of the season. Andreas Marrero and Khalil Brantley led the Explorers to a quick 8 points. The Rams fought their way back to a 15-13 lead with 11 minutes remaining in the first half, but another 8-point run led by Josh Nickelberry got the Explorers back on top. Back-to-back threes by Nickelberry expanded LaSalle's lead 40-29 heading into the half. They expanded their lead 60-46 with 10 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. The Rams took off from there, outscoring the Explorers 26-10 in the last 10 minutes to slide past the Explorers, leading to a 72-70 loss for LaSalle.
Women's basketball took on St. Bonaventure this past Saturday, and early scoring for the Bonnies gave them an early 7-5 lead over the Explorers. An 8-0 run for the Explorers helped them to pull ahead 13-7, and they continued to hold a 6-4 advantage to finish the first quarter ahead 19-11. Claire Jacobs kicked off the second quarter with a 3-pointer to put LaSalle ahead by 13 points, but an 8-0 run from Bonaventure would close the gap to 5 points. Mia Jacobs edged the Explorers' lead to 7 with just 2 seconds left in the quarter, helping LaSalle to go into halftime up 30-23. The third quarter saw the Explorers shooting 4 of 9 from the 3-point range to go ahead 49-39 at the end of the third quarter. An 11-0 run for the Blue and Gold set the tone for the final frame, helping LaSalle leap ahead 60-42. The Bonnies did their best to push back, but the Explorers would go ahead by as many as 16 points during the quarter and eventually secured a 65-52 win. It was then down to Virginia for a matchup against VCU, where back-to-back buckets from Claire Jacobs put the Explorers up by 4 early on. The Rams would build back a 7-4 lead, but Amy Jacobs was able to tie things up 8-8. However, the Rams would end the first quarter up 13-10. Claire Jacobs featured on offense again to bring the Explorers within a point, and LaSalle held a 4-2 lead over the following 4 minutes, thanks to a 4-4 performance from the Charity Stripe. Despite this, some back-and-forth scoring meant that the teams would head into halftime tied at 21. Molly Massantonio started the third quarter strong, kicking off an 8-3 run from the Explorers to put them ahead 29-24. However, an 11-0 run from VCU gave them a 35-29 edge. The Explorers offense did their best to get those points back, but their win streak would come to an end, falling to a 53-38 loss.
Wednesday night, men's basketball was back at Tom Gola Arena to face George Washington. They were off to a hot start, leading 15-5 in the first stretch of the game. Josh Nickelberry came off the bench to score 10 quick points to expand their lead 32-18 going into half. A 17-4 run by George Washington depleted LaSalle's lead, but a defensive stand by Fusini Drame and Jameer Brickus allowed the Explorers to stay in the game and go on a 10-0 run to regain the lead with 5 minutes remaining. A timely 3 by Jameer Brickus gave them a 65-59 lead heading into the final minutes. With a little help from George Washington shooting 1 of 5, LaSalle outscored them 10-6 and took the 75-64 victory. They improved to 3-6 in A10 play and 9-13 overall.
So it's good to see men's basketball finally has a win. They were on a 5-game losing streak, but even more promising is, you probably heard Megan and I had some words for Josh Nickelberry in the last episode, but he definitely improved over these past couple of games. He was one of the top performers in these last 2 games, especially against George Washington. He was a very strong individual performance. Even though they got the win, the team was really not playing like they wanted to win the game. And it's great to see that Josh Nickelberry, found his footing there. Jameer Brickus was also a name that we saw a lot, and he did a lot in terms of assisting and, getting steals from turnovers. So even though Jameer Brickus, we weren't sure if we were going to see him this season because he was in the transfer portal and he doesn't have, real size on his side. He's not the tallest or the strongest or fastest, but the fact that he's still able to get in the spaces he needs to and provide the help to the team that they kind of desperately need in games like these is a really good, it's really good to see.
Yeah, and I was at the game last night, and now Josh Nickelberry in this end of season stretch has been coming off the bench, but his performance off the bench has been incredible. Coming in to score 10 quick points, hitting back-to-back threes in pretty much every game he's in. I swear I'm always writing that. And his energy when he's on the bench is inspiring to everyone else on the bench, because this team, they're 9-13, 3 wins in A10 play, not what they were looking for with, new coach Fran Dunphy, but the energy is still there and Nickelberry's enthusiasm is still there, and that's incredible to see, and I really respect that from him and the rest of the team cheering on their guys. Trying to come back from a 5-game losing streak is not an easy thing to do, and they muscled up and they won that game last night, and it was a good performance overall.
Yeah, you can also definitely count on Josh for a good showboating dunk as well. We saw that, but it's good to see that even though it wasn't the most cohesive performance and they might not have played as well as they'd like to, they were able to get that result. Any win is going to hopefully inspire and motivate them to do better, and we do want to see better from this very talented men's basketball side. We have the Drame brothers who have come in. They've done pretty well. We have Josh Nickelberry, we have Khalil Brantley, who is also in the transfer portal and is coming back. It's just, there's so many good individual talents, and we see glimpses of that from game to game, but we had this problem under Ashley Howard, and we're still having it under Fran Dunphy, and it may just be because Fran Dunphy is still new. It's his first season coaching at LaSalle in this head coach position, but we're still missing that cohesiveness, and we're still missing all of that talent being able to come together and just work as a well-oiled machine on the court.
Yeah, this is a talented team. We've seen that in the guys that they got incoming this year and with the guys that are already there. And it's important to point out that these losses that they've had are not blowout losses. They're 2 points, 4 points. Those are really tough mental games to get past. And so, again, proud of them for winning the game last night, but there is talent on this team, and I think we just have yet to see them kind of get over that ledge and go where they need to go. But there's still time in the rest of the season, so hopefully they can kind of get some confidence going and get back where they need to be.
And women's basketball is kind of having the opposite problem. They were on a really good winning streak, and then unfortunately they lost to VCU, which they do struggle against VCU. That's a historically difficult opponent for them, so really no shame in losing against a side like that, but the winning streak that they were on was absolutely insane. It was just win after win after win, and they had some blowout victories. They did have, double-digit point margins that they were dealing with, and Jacob's sisters coming in clutch. Molly Massantonio has really, really stepped up, which is amazing to see. So the women's team are just doing amazing. They're over 500. They have really good conference play, so just love to see them flourishing like that.
Yeah, talk about talent on a team. I mean, Molly Massantonio right now is the top player in all of D1 basketball with assist-to-turnover ratio. That is incredible. I mean, I think we are not, as LaSalle, hyping her up enough, so I want to take the moment to hype her up. She's an incredible guard, and she's been playing great this year, along with, Kayla Spurl and all of the other girls on this team. They are cohesive, they're playing together, and they're getting wins, and it's showing. So hope for a bounce back. At the game last night, they were watching video of other teams, and so they're into it, they're dedicated. It's cool to see.
And you can definitely tell that they are close off the court as well. You can tell that, every game they go into, they want to do better than the last game, and you can tell that they just really want the wins, and they get the wins, and that's just amazing to see for us here at LaSalle. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Garrett Burke joins us to give us some insight into LaSalle's very own swimming and diving program. Stay tuned.
Hey you, yeah you, I'm talking to you, LaSalle. Are you bored? Do you not know what to watch on TV? Are you so deprived of human contact that you talk to your walls at night? Then I have the solution for you. Hi, I'm Joan. If you felt any of those previous feelings, boy do I have the solution for you. Come on down to LaSalle TV. We got SportsLine and Sport Talks on Thursdays. We got Backstage Pass on Wednesdays. We got Q&A. We got LTV News and more. LaSalle TV is great. That's why I brought my son here to tell you just how great it is. Tell him, son.
I love LaSalle TV.
Thanks, son. Watch LaSalle TV. Watching LaSalle TV will even repel the devil.
Yeah.
Watch LaSalle TV.
Watch it.
Watch it.
Watch it. Watch it.
Using meth taught me everything about freedom, only not like you think. It taught me how easy it is to lose your freedom. How meth can take control until you find yourself doing whatever meth tells you to do. Before you get there, while you still can, take a stand for yourself. If you feel yourself losing your freedom to meth, ask for help. Accept the help. It's worth it. You have the power to be truly free and be the person you want to be. I know, I'm Jan, and I'm free from meth.
If you or someone you know is struggling with meth, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/meth.
Welcome back. We've talked plenty about swimming and diving, but we think it's time you hear from them in their own words. We're joined by senior Garrett Burke on desk today. Garrett, thank you for coming into the show.
Hi, yeah, of course. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, Garrett, thanks for being here. So start off a little bit. How did you get to LaSalle? Talk about your early swimming career. Why swimming and why Philadelphia?
Yeah. So I've been swimming since first grade. I was a tiny little Garrett. And at first my parents kind of made me swim, and I hated it. I cried at practice. The water was super cold. But over the years, I grew to love it, just like my dad did, and it ended up becoming a really large part of my identity and a really big part of why I ended up coming to LaSalle. But yeah, I was a big part of YMCA swimming in high school and before, and kind of really gained some key skills and learned a lot of lessons there that prepared me to end up coming to LaSalle. Actually, one of our assistant coaches, Billy, reached out to me when I was in my senior year of high school, and really introduced me to LaSalle. He set me up on my recruiting trip. I got to visit multiple times, unofficial visits, and then finally came with my recruiting trip with the team, and I just fell in love with the environment that this great group of men had created here, and I really I love it. I loved every second of it right from that first recruiting trip. So, and I knew this was a place for me.
And swimming takes a ton of dedication. You work out multiple times a day. You're up early to, swim and just get all those practices in. So how hard is it, or just how have you been able to factor that into your life as a college student over these 4 years?
Yeah, it has been really hard. A lot of it is time management. I mean, you're going to hear everyone talk about that, especially with swimming, though. There's a lot of work that's required in the pool, hours and hours each week. A lot of time out of the pool in the weight room, doing dry land, whatever supplemental exercises our coach is feeling that day. But yeah, it's hard because it takes a mental toll too, especially balancing schoolwork. I've had plenty of hard semesters that really kind of conflict with my swimming schedule, but I've been able to make it work. Just powered through.
Yeah, and as a swimming team, you all travel a lot. Can you talk about kind of your travel schedule, what events you look forward to, and as a team, how does that bonding go just on a trip?
Yeah. I guess starting out at the beginning of a season, I really look forward to our first invitational when we travel, and usually we go up to Boston for an invitational. It's just a bunch of New England Catholic schools, and I guess we're included in that, luckily, and that's always a really big environment, especially for the incoming freshmen and transfers, just to see D1 swimming for what it really is, and just a crazy environment of super fast swimming, and it's a really good introduction to what we do all season long. And other travel that I look forward to, I guess, would be our A10 conference meet. We go up there, take a whole week off of school, go out to Ohio, and do some really fast swimming, and that's really what we build up our whole season to, and it just feels like it's a culmination point at the end of the season, that like all those hours of time in the cold water, early mornings, it all really pays off in February.
Yeah, and it's a very close group that you guys have. You know, we can see at LaSalle some teams are not as close together. So how do you guys motivate each other and lift each other up when you're winning, but then at the meets where things don't go so well, how are you there for each other to kind of get back on the saddle and go again?
Yeah, I think we have a really good group of leaders on our team. That especially in the meet environments, we really come together and we talk with each other. We're very transparent, and we really rally just around our core values to help us kind of come together in low points and really encourage each other at the high points as well.
Yeah, and now that you're a senior, kind of stepping up into that leadership role, what has that been like, being the more experienced one on the team?
Yeah, it was really an honor to be a senior captain, and although my season is cut short and my career is cut short in my senior year due to an injury, it's still really nice to be able to lead such a great group of guys and really build the team back from what it was in my sophomore and junior year. So it's really good to see how far we've come and how far there is to go, and I'm positive about it. So,
are there any standout performers this season, or just in your time at LaSalle in general, that you want to highlight, and any new freshmen or new guys coming in that you think are really going to take this program to the next level after you graduate?
Yeah, for sure. Looking back to my early years, someone who I really looked up to and who was one of the fastest swimmers on our team was Daniel Johnson. He was class of 20, I believe. I'm gonna have to check that, but yeah, he was one of my role models, and he was just such a genuine person and really embodied what a LaSalle swimmer is. And he was such a good role model as so many other swimmers on the team. I know anyone else you'll talk to will probably point to him, but he really instilled values in all of us at his time throughout his time here. So.
And we've talked about travel a little bit, but is there a moment over your 4 years that sticks out to you, a performance or a meet that was special?
Yeah, last A10 conference meet in February was a really big point for me. I felt like I had kind of overcome my freshman year initial feelings of nervousness, and it was just such a new environment for me that I kind of underperformed, at least to from where I wanted to be. And then after sophomore year, having our team cut, going through all of that, my junior year, just really everything kind of came together, and it felt like I was able to really improve on my personal best, and so that felt really good for me.
And having the team cut and then brought back was, a really big storyline when that whole debacle was happening. Mm-hmm. So what was it like as someone in the team to think your program's getting cut and not being really sure if you were going to be able to bring it back, because no other team that got cut was able to do the same? Yeah,
it was really hard. I mean, we're all really fortunate and appreciative of the school that we were able to come back and have the opportunity to keep doing what we're doing, and so it was really hard. I think mentally, mm-hmm. on all of us, and the morale was really low. We really struggled that sophomore year for me, but we were able to come together, I think, in April, because that year our conference meet was pushed back, but we were able to come together and do something really great and drop a lot of time. So.
Yeah, but we're very glad that you guys came back, and we're very happy that you could join us for the show today, Garrett.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for being here. We are going to take another break, but when we come back, we have all of the games you can look forward to this upcoming week.
Oh, hey LaSalle TV. Welcome to the LaSalle TV studio. Let's go take a tour. All right, so this is our main studio. This is where all the magic happens. We got all 5 cameras right here. We got our camera operators. Hey, can you switch to camera 3, please?
Switch it off to camera 3 right now. Good.
This is where our talent sits for Sports Talk and SportsLine. That's our set for it. All right, so now let's go take a tour of the control room. That's where all the magic happens behind the scenes. So this right here, we have video. We have graphics right over here. This is the technical director. They control all the cameras.
2, 1,
right here, we have the director. Right over here, we have audio. Over here, we have the teleprompter. All right, well, that's all for the tour of the LaSalle TV studio. Thanks for coming by. See ya.
Welcome back. Our Explorer Sports have another action-packed week this week, so here's what you have to look out for. Women's basketball will take on UMass at Tom Gola Arena on Saturday, February 4th. They will then travel down to Virginia for a matchup against Richmond on Wednesday, February 8th. Swimming and diving will hop back in the pool against Monmouth on Saturday, February 4th.
Men's basketball has a full slate of games beginning Sunday the 5th at St. Joe's. On Wednesday, the 8th, they will travel to New York to face St. Bonaventure, and they will end the week back at Tom Gola Arena on Saturday, the 11th, to take on Massachusetts.
Definitely a lot of games to look forward to, especially men's basketball against St. Joe's, Big 5 and A10 rival. That is definitely what I'm going to be looking forward to this upcoming week.
Yeah, a lot of good games. Like we mentioned before, you know, men's basketball, I feel like, is getting back on a streak. They have so much talent, so hopefully that last win kind of gave them the momentum they need to get it going.
Yeah, definitely a lot of games that we will want to keep an eye on, and that just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorer Report, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send your thoughts and suggestions there. This week's poll is in honor of National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. Who is your favorite female in sports?
If your answer is not me or Libby, you're wrong. And for our entire SportsLine team, I'm Siobhan Nolan.
And I'm Libby Gilliland. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.